Welcome to More Business, More Life Daily. And this is the end of our series on wow clients. I'm sure I'll talk about wow clients more, but today we're going to talk about gaining more referrals. It's the fourth R. So how do we gain more referrals with wow clients? Well, we've already talked about, let's just review. If we have wow clients, we get more energy, right? And it's actually easier to keep our wow clients. We end up having more results, right? Which then leads to more revenue. And the revenue comes from three things, right? They'll tend to spend more with us. They'll pay higher prices. They'll buy more often, right? And then they'll even stay with us longer. And then on top of that, they'll become raving fans, and then they'll start sharing more with the world because they're so happy with it. We do know that people, and even think about ourselves, I always bring it back to me, like when I'm so happy about something, then I definitely share it more. Or when you're unhappy, you tend to warn people about things. Hey, don't go over there, right? And that's why we want to avoid the owl clients. And then now we're talking, so the three, remember, so it's more results, more revenue, more raving fans, and now the fourth for today to complete this series here is more referrals. You know, when you have wow clients, then we want more of them. Well, I always go by a quote by Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's famous speaker from the 70s and 80s. He's since passed away. He said a lot of amazing things, but one thing that I learned from him that I'll never forget is the 5 people you hang out with the most, right, are an average of you. So if you take how much money they make, how many vacations they go on, how many hours they work, how much time they spend with their family, like you name it, like any attribute of yourself in your life, and you average the 5 people you spend the most time with, and if you really did this exercise, it's eerie how true it is, but then you are an average of those 5 people. Now let's take this back to wow clients. Think about it. Who do your wow clients hang out with? More wow clients, right? Their friends are going to be much like them. This is pretty standardized. There's many sayings. It says, if I want to know what you're like, show me your friends. Right? You know, like we do become and start to do it. As I've changed who I want to be, like as I've looked at people, I'm like, wow, I want my life to be more like them. And then I've sought those people out and I've spent time with them, and you go have meals with them. You start to absorb their thoughts, the way that they believe things, and you start to become them. And then sometimes you also meet people and you're like, I don't like them. I don't want to become like them. You move away from them, right? So the people you hang out with matter. And then also to wow clients, the people that your wow clients hang out with are typically wow clients. The same with owl clients. If you get referrals from an owl client, it's a high chance. It's not always. Have I gotten a great wow client from an owl client? That has happened now in over 10 years, but I could only think of 1 or 2 in over 20 years. So it's not even a place that I put my energy, because the owl clients typically lead to more owl clients, right? Their friends are typically like them. So if you just focus on your wow clients and you ask them, hey, you first take care of them. And by asking lots of questions like, hey, how are things going? How can we help you more? You're going to continue that relationship. But then you can also say, what was the greatest value that you received from working with us? To that wow client. They're going to tell you, then you repeat that back and say, okay, great. So this was the value you got. And they're like, yes. And then you can simply ask, who do you know that needs that same great value that, oh, by the way, is just like you? Because I remember I told you I only want to work with wow clients. So it has to be wow, just like you. Don't send me your friend that you don't like. And I say this to my clients and then they laugh about it. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. I only want to work with wow clients like you. I even use this to help talk to my wow clients more. I'll say, you know, you're one of my wow clients. And if I could only work with wow clients, if I could only have people like you, then I would be the happiest person on the planet. And then I'm just curious if you'll take some time so that I could better understand a bit about you, better understand where you hang out, like where do you shop, what events do you go to, what publications do you read, what books do you read, what social media do you use? Are you using Facebook, LinkedIn? What's the primary one? What's the one that you use the most? Because that's where you want to show up. And then guess what? You're going to have more, and then you can directly ask for the referrals, and sometimes they'll send you referrals. I have clients clients right now this year that have sent me referrals without me even asking. They're like, you have to help this person. You can help, Steve. Please connect with them, help them. So when you work with WOW clients, to recap, you're gonna start to, one, have more energy in your life. You're gonna have more happiness with your staff and your team and yourself, and then you're going to be able to have higher results for your clients and your customers. You're gonna be able to have more revenue, and then you're gonna have more raving fans, and ultimately you're gonna have more referrals, which leads to even more revenue. So this is the factor that, in fact, anybody I work with, anybody that I coach or consult for, if they don't get this concept, I don't work with them, because business is just way too hard to deal with clients that you shouldn't be working with. So I hope this has been useful this week. Please let me know what your biggest takeaway was. Please let me know what other questions you have so that I can continue to serve you. I truly want to help as many of you as I can. So please give those answers, and then subscribe if you really like this so that I can continue to give you support. As always, remember, until our next video, choose gratitude and create freedom. I'll see you next week.